So what is digital presence? Why is it important and how can you build up yours? Well, I'm going to answer all of these questions in this video, so stick around. Having a digital presence means that you're actively contributing to digital platforms such as social media and blogs in ways that allow you to make a name for yourself as a thought leader and trusted advisor. It's about having an online brand that defines you as a person who truly knows their audience's business. You know, the realities, the challenges, and how technology can help the business continue to grow and remain viable. It's about telling your audience that every time they see a post from you, they are going to get access to amazing content that will help them succeed at their business. So why is having a digital presence important? Because for more and more people, the digital world is the place to be to learn about the realities of their business. And if you are the person to provide those people with the information they need, well, then you have the opportunity to become relevant to them as they move along their buyer's journey. So how do you build your digital presence? 3 ways: share valuable content, create valuable content, and engage in conversations that add value. All right, so let's start by talking about sharing valuable content, because I'm sure that by now you've all shared something on social media and you know how easy and straightforward it is. But now I want you to think about the type of content that people consume on social media. You see, people use social media to enjoy themselves, to relax, to have fun, even if it's a site like LinkedIn where they can get information that will help them with their work. The main reason that people congregate to these social media platforms is to have fun. So if you want people to pay attention to the content that you're sharing, you need to make sure that it's fun. You need to make sure that it's interesting and stimulating. But of course, you can't just share any type of content, even if it is interesting and stimulating. If you want to build your digital presence, your shares need to demonstrate that you are a knowledgeable, trusted advisor who will guide her or his audience to success. So by all means, share valuable content, but make sure that it's interesting and stimulating. Now, does this type of content exist? Absolutely. You might just have to work a little bit harder to find it. Now, I noticed that on social media, a lot of companies post exclusively about themselves. You know, our product is so great, read our white paper, come to our webinar. And as a user, this becomes a little bit dull because nobody wants to listen to somebody talk about themselves 100% of the time. Now, this doesn't mean that you should never talk about yourself. You have to talk about yourself. You have to promote yourself. The key is you need to do so sparingly, about 20% of the time. And this is what we call the social media 80-20 rule, where 80% of the content that you share is all about value and less about promoting yourself. The remaining 20%, well, that's where you can toot your own horn and pat yourself on the back. What's key in social media is that you need to demonstrate that you're all about sharing the love on digital, and you're not using social media just to sell your stuff. So here's an example of some social media posts that I put together with a partner of mine. And you can see that out of 16 posts for the week, 12 were industry focused, while only 4 were focused on the partner's company and SAP offering. Now, while sharing stimulating, value-adding content gets you off to a great start, there is something else you can do to really demonstrate your expertise, empathy, and value. And that is by adding your own comments to the share. For example, you might write why you feel a particular share is interesting or important or worth reading or how it'll benefit your audience. Or you might provide a summary of the article itself. Providing that extra bit of value will let your audience know that you're the real deal, and it'll make your shares truly stand out. So here's an example of a post that I shared on getting the most out of your LinkedIn sponsored campaigns. And you'll see that I just included a couple of lines on why I felt my audience would benefit from this particular article, especially if they were considering this route. So here's one last consideration you need to keep in mind if you wish to use social media to build your digital presence, and that is you need to do so regularly. You see, the digital world is busy and there's a lot of information being passed every second. So if you don't remind people that you exist, it's going to be very easy for you to be forgotten. Now, you probably don't have 40 hours a week to dedicate on social media, but really all you need is a couple of posts per week to remain relevant. The key is you have to do so consistently. Okay, so that was all about sharing content. Now I just want to quickly talk about creating your own content, because if you feel that you would like to create a blog, a video, or an infographic that has your unique signature, I strongly recommend that you do it, because nothing demonstrates your expertise, your empathy, and your insight better than your own content. Now, the third way to build your digital presence is to engage in conversations that provide value. And there are two ways in which you can do this. The first way is through the comment section of a blog or social media post, especially if you have the opportunity to demonstrate your expertise, your empathy, or your insight. And the second way is through electronic messaging, email or LinkedIn InMail or any other messaging platform. Regardless of how you do it, the key to successful messaging is to provide value, to be helpful. Offer something that your audience will appreciate, like an asset or your own insight. Your audience will appreciate the fact that you're adding to the conversation. Now, for sure, your ultimate goal is to have a sales conversation or make a sales pitch, and there's nothing wrong with that. But if you can demonstrate that you are equally concerned about your audience's success just as much as you are your KPIs or sales targets, well then when the time comes for them to make that purchasing decision, your company, and your SAP offering will be top of mind. So here's an example of an outreach message that I created working with a partner of mine. And in it, you'll see that we shared an article that we felt would be interesting to this particular lead. So there you have it, the 3 ways to build your digital presence. Share valuable content, create valuable content, and engage in conversations that provide value. All right, that is it for me. Remember that if you can establish a digital presence that demonstrates your expertise, your empathy, and your thought leadership, well, you'll plant the seeds of knowledge and influence in the minds of your audience. And when the time comes for them to make that purchasing decision, well, your company, and your SAP offering will be top of mind. If you have any questions or comments, do get in touch with me. I'll be more than happy to hear from you. All right, have a great day and happy selling.